So you go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, you eat a pretty balanced, healthy diet, you're pretty consistent in your habits and your routine, but your body still feels soft instead of strong. You feel like you're not making the progress that you want to see. Your energy is really low and you've got no definition. I promise you, you are not broken. Your body is not broken, but you are pushing a system that isn't actually what your body needs in order to hit those goals that you're chasing. A big mistake that I see a lot of women make is they think that it's a motivation issue. They think they need to be more disciplined. They think they need to push harder, add more sessions, eat less. It's always a mindset of how can I do more? But it very rarely is a case of doing more. It's actually a case of doing better and doing more aligned actions in the same capacity, rather than just continuing to try and add on a system that is essentially broken when it comes to helping you progress towards that goal. And what a lot of women do when they end up just stacking thing upon thing, they add more sessions, they think they need to start running as well as strength training and join netball and that swim club and do Pilates for recovery. They are just taking an already burnt out nervous system, they're taking a stressed body and they are compounding that with even more stress. And this gets you actually further from that goal of wanting to build lean muscle, create shape, create tone and definition. And it leaves you in that puffy, inflamed, squishy state where you do end up kind of just going in circles. So it's not adding more, it's doing less and doing it better that actually will be the thing that will move the needle forwards. So let's break down specifically where you're going wrong and how we can fix that so you can actually start seeing results. So the first thing, and probably the biggest one, is you are unintentionally or maybe intentionally underfueled, and you are acting like your body is well fueled to follow through on those actions. Because when we really break it down, eating healthy isn't the same as eating in alignment with your goals and getting specific with it. Because eating healthy does form a great framework, absolutely, we cannot deny that. But we do need to get a little bit more specific. Are you hitting enough protein to actually see that lean muscle growth and definition that you're chasing? Are your carbs too low? Because if they are, your energy is going to tank out and you're not going to have enough energy to A, get through your workday, and B, perform properly in the gym to be able to push hard enough to then get that muscle growing. We also see things like prolonged undereating, where you're essentially placing your body in a calorie deficit for a really long time and everything starts to slow. So your metabolism down regulates to meet these low calories and basically meet them as your new maintenance. So once we get here, everything halts. Your body is no longer prioritizing that progressive fat loss because it's in fight or flight mode. It's trying to hold on to that body fat. Your NEAT has dropped and your hormones have down regulated to essentially go into protection mode of, oh my God, we've been on these low calories for a really long time. We need to protect ourselves here. We're not prioritizing fat loss anymore because we think that this is just how we live. So it's about taking your body out of that state and starting to take the approach of fueling for performance. So this would look like gradually tapering your calories up to maintenance and spending a good amount of time there where your metabolism can gradually upregulate, your hormones can also level out, your energy levels can level out, you can train to a higher performance level in the gym, so we're pushing harder and we're building that lean muscle, and that's when we start to really move the needle forwards, when we get out of that fight or flight zone. The next one is too much stress and not enough recovery, specifically ignoring all of the little subtle cues that your body is giving you. So for example, low energy levels, slow digestion, more bloating than usual, inconsistent patterns in your energy levels throughout the day as well. So you're waking up feeling really tired, you're tanking out with energy during your sessions, you've got brain fog at work. All of these things are little silent signs from your body that it is stressed and it's under recovered. And when you ignore that and you try to just push through and further compound, you're essentially avoiding the problem altogether. And that's when your body will hit that burnout point unless you take those cues on board and you put the things in place that need to happen to avoid getting there. So it's really important before you start to add and get specific, if you're feeling like you're in this state currently, then you need to work on that first before you can then move forwards. So focus on regulating your nervous system. system, making any tweaks with an audit to your routine that aligns better with your goals, that supports your energy levels better. Get really specific with where your energy is going day to day and if it can shift absolutely anywhere. And yes, it might mean getting selfish with your own energy to act in alignment with your goals and to act in alignment with that future you. Because if you continue to be a yes man, your body's already in this stress state, you're trying to add with training, then you are going to burn the hell out unless you make changes. So set that as the foundation first, where you consciously put time into looking at your environment, looking at your energy levels, looking at life in terms of work and home life, bringing the two together so they can support you to the best capacity. Reason number 3, now this one is a big one, and no one ever taught you to build first before heading into a fat loss phase. Now, I get women coming to me every single day that have a fat loss goal, and I will never put them straight into a calorie deficit. And this is why. Because when your body is already in this stress state, whether it's say from work and personal life, like we already spoke about, whether you're in that fight or flight zone and you're edging burnout, or you've been chronically under eating without even realizing, then we can't put your body into that deficit phase straight away, because it's going to be added stress and it's not going to respond and recognize that deficit as efficiently as we would like. So we have two options. We either put you at maintenance for a while, or we put you into a build phase. Now, my personal preference, depending on where your body composition is at, but if you're currently in that zone that we kind of refer to as skinny fat, where you're skinny, but you're not overweight, but you're squishy, but you're not toned, you've got very little muscle mass on your body, and you've kind of got that soft look, then it's not actually fat loss that you need, it's a build phase that you need. And really focusing on building that lean muscle first, really consistently and in a really focused phase, is going to make the thing that's going to make that fat loss phase then 100 times easier. And it's for a few reasons. You actually burn more body fat at rest when you have more muscle than when you don't. So we don't have to push a calorie deficit as aggressively or as low, and you burn that body fat far more efficiently when you have more lean muscle. The second thing is that lean muscle is going to be the thing that's going to give you that toned appearance that you're chasing. Because if we just put you into a fat loss phase and you have no muscle tone to show for it, you have no muscle underneath that body fat, then you're just going to end up further skinny and squishy rather than ending up lean, strong and toned if we build that muscle first. Okay, so there's some action steps that I want you to take away from this if you are in that zone of I'm trying everything and nothing is working. The first thing is start eating more and start eating to fuel performance. So I want you to think about hitting your protein goal at 1.8 to 2.2 grams per kilo of body weight, not being scared of complex carbohydrates, eating balanced meals that fuel your recovery and fuel your training. The second thing I want you to do is, before you add more, look at doing less, but look at doing it better. Audit your environment, audit your habits, audit your routine to support you to the best capacity so you're not feeling burnt out, so you have energy for other things, so you can go into your training sessions with intention and with capacity to push in them, rather than hitting 6 to 7 sessions a week in a frazzled, burnt out state and then adding cardio and a run on top of that. I promise you that's going to get you further from your goal than you think it will. The next one I want you to do is start tracking performance instead of just fat loss. Track your lifts in the gym, track your measurements, track progress photos, track how your clothes are fitting, how you're performing in every single session. That data is going to give you the full scope rather than just focusing on a number on the scales alone. Because as women, we know that fluctuates so often for so many reasons. So we want to bring other factors into it so we can correctly track that progress. And the last thing is, if you are currently eating in a calorie deficit, I want you to get out of it right now. You cannot survive on dieting year round. You need to phase dieting phases that are strategic, well planned, and have their time and place. It is not about sitting in it for 12 months at a time. If this hit and landed for you, then It is not a you problem, okay? It's not that your body is broken, it's just a strategy issue. And you don't have to have all the answers to this. This is exactly what I work through inside of Refined Coaching with all of my clients. We get them out of this plateaued, frustrated state, and we get them building 10x energy, toned, strong physiques that they feel confident in year round, by just making these subtle changes that actually fuel the goal, fit their lifestyle, and fit their current body composition. So if you want more of an in-depth plan for you and your body specifically, then jump down below and book in a coaching call with me. It's literally 30 minutes, totally free, and we will deep dive into your current systems and help you recognize what those gaps are so you can start that momentum and you can start moving forwards.